Shout out to Candace Parker for always keeping it a buck. Not only is she a WNBA legend, but she hasn't bit her tongue when giving her analysis about the game because she has plead for the sport, women's basketball that is, to be talked about like it is on the NBA side, which is why she didn't back down from her C tier Angel Reese rating, whether you agree with it or not, and why she plainly stated, of course, the Indiana Fever aren't better without Caitlin Clark. It's an absurd premise, right? Clark's playmaking is transcendent. You have to pick her up, well past the 3-point line because of her shooting prowess as well. And it's just, an asinine premise that the team would be better without her, though they have gotten better without her. Both things are true at the same time. But ultimately, the fact that anybody's saying it at all is proof that the WNBA has made it, because we've definitely seen that on the NBA side with some of the biggest names in the sport. It's just a way to keep Caitlin Clark in the conversation. Anyhow, here is what Candace Parker had to say on the new podcast with Aaliyah Boston. Seems like a great pod. I'll link their full show below. But this was the bit about Caitlin Clark and the Fever possibly being better without her. This is what the WNBA legend had to say.
And for those naysayers out there that are like, you're better without Caitlin. They're not. They're not better without Caitlin. But I do feel like times like this, different people step up. Just like Natasha Howard stepped up during the Commissioner Cup. Yep. Like, it shows. And it can be a growth opportunity for teams. Like, Caitlin is one of those people that has a high IQ. So I know she's watching, and I know she's going to come back and make you all that much better. So it honestly is scary, because not only are you allowing other people to step up, but you're allowing Caitlin to then survey and realize how she can add. I said from the get-go, Indiana Fever, scary.
I agree with that. I mean, look, they lost to the Sparks. They're not a perfect team, of course, but to have played as well as they have in Clark's absence is telling. And Clark has not been 100% all season long. You got to remember that even when she was playing, she wasn't 100%. The Fever have a better record with Clark in the lineup than without her in the lineup. Every single statistic, they're better basically with her in the lineup, of course. And Stephanie White, people blew her blessing in disguise comment out of proportion, because she also said this on the same topic.
Work with her and Amber Cox, and to be able to coach generational talent like Caitlin Clark. And, we really do just have a great group of human beings and a strong group of women that are leading our organization.
And when Caitlin Clark does return to the floor, how is she going to help elevate this team even more down the stretch of the season?
Well, she demands so much gravity on the defensive end of the floor. She's constantly seeing multiple players, and she makes the right reads and makes the right plays for our group. So she's going to continue to allow us to stretch the floor. We're going to be able to, I think everybody else will be able to get more higher percentage looks because of what she demands on the defensive end of the floor. And she brings our own defensive versatility because of her length, because of her size. So we'll certainly look different. I think we'll be that much more dangerous on offense in particular.
And more dangerous is always good, because, it's the opposite of, or the inverse, I guess, of what Carolyn Peck had to say, who has sort of made it a thing to lean in to that point, because it does give you attention. It does get you attention. But look, it was never worth attention. It's not worth the oxygen, I guess, I'm giving it right now. But there was another aspect of the podcast that Candace Parker kept it real about too, and that was DeWanna Bonner and the booze. Basically past all that at this point, but I thought it was worth sharing it with you, just because her perspective on it is spot on, right? Like, it's just exactly what I've been saying, and what anybody with any common sense or who's ever watched sports before has said.
What did you expect? I think this puts women's basketball on the map. I'm not going to lie. Because when everybody waited for KD to go back to OKC. Okay? They booed him. Big shocker. Everybody waited for Braun to go back to Cleveland. Booed him. Everybody waited for Kyrie to go back to whatever team he went back to, because he went back to several. Luka, same thing. We can go down the line. It's a privilege. And that was expected. To me, I love being booed. I thought that was a sign of respect. If you're not booing somebody that can get buckets.
Mhm.
So to be honest with you, I feel like as a teammate, it's Kalia Copper's job to stick up for her. But to be honest with you, like DB had to expect this. When you make a conscious decision to leave somewhere and go somewhere else, it's difficult, but you have to take what comes with it. And I feel like you're not booing Dewana because she's not a good player. Just booing her because it didn't work out. That's fans, right?
Yeah, not to mention the circumstances in how it didn't work out, which any, Fever fan is well within their rights to feel a certain way about. But you got to love Candace Parker there and refreshing, and her and Aaliyah Boston, just two smart individuals with very different demeanors. So I'm, everybody's got a podcast nowadays, but theirs is off to a good start. Not only because it's given me content to go off of, but because I'm content with the content. And the game, frankly, probably has been missing somebody like Candace Parker, who has the gravitas to say what she says, but also the backbone to not back down from what she says. Now we'll see, when Caitlin Clark, again, it remains a mystery exactly when she'll be back in the lineup. The latest was that she was running full court, sprinting up and down the floor. We've seen her shooting and all that. So to me, that signals that the ramp up process has begun, but they continue to tell us they're going to slow play said ramp up process. There's no reason to rush Clark. The Fever can stand to continue, as is for a minute. They've proven that they've shown that over the course of this stretch, despite the loss to the Sparks. They have not the end of the world coming up. They got Dewana Bonner again on Thursday, but then the Sky and the Wings and the Mystics who are retooling and the Sun. And by that time, you get to the Lynx on August 22nd, which I think there's a potential that that's the game that Caitlin Clark is back in and Nafisa Collier is back in. And how many games do the Lynx have to win in a row before they're better without Nafisa Collier? Just curious. Of course, that is also absurd. I'm being facetious, but I don't think we'll hear those takes thrown out into the universe. The reason we hear the takes, make no mistake, the reason we hear the takes when it comes to Clark, again, is her popularity. Because even in her absence, her presence is felt. Ain't nobody got the juice like she does.